Greetings to you, Crocoduck Army. Someone sent me a message last year asking how to find eligible atheist women in his small religious town, and we talked about whether it can work to date a Christian as an atheist. There are a lot of different pieces that need to fall into place in order for a romantic relationship to work. There's physical or sexual attraction, of course, which is something that tends to not be consciously controlled, and that's often going to eliminate a vast swath of people from the potential dating pool right off the bat. Add that in with age, gender, availability to actually have a relationship, their being attracted to you, and proximity considerations, and that can reduce your options in a hurry. If you add even more hurdles, you might effectively whittle down your dating pool to one option. Real dolls are still pretty expensive, though. So that brings us back to the question of how to go about deciding if you're willing to date a religious person or not. First of all, to give you a bit of context, I've been an atheist all my life. I've been married to Mrs. Zaunstar for 14 years, and she's never been an atheist. She grew up Catholic, but has been essentially a deist since she was old enough to make her own decisions on such matters. I've known that since I've known her, and it was never an issue for me. She believes gay people to be her moral equals, doesn't think poor people are the cause of society's biggest problems, and just generally treats people well. As you can tell from my criteria, it would be much more difficult for me to be with an atheist conservative Republican than a more liberal believer of almost any religion. Of course, the level to which a person is devout can certainly be a factor in whether you're a good match for them. I think dating someone who spoke in tongues would be awkward. Back when I did online dating during the dawn of the web in the late 90s, I would avoid women who seemed to make Christianity the centerpiece of their lives, but I never eliminated anyone just because they checked a box other than atheist in their religious preferences. I did mention during my conversation with him that there are many people who are merely culturally Christian, and I wondered if this might be less of a problem for him. To my surprise, he replied that even if they were not church-going Christians, that if they even generally believe in the Bible, that there's just too much that he finds immoral in the Bible for him to be able to see past it. Considering the number of cultural Christians I've met that see Christianity as just telling us to be nice to people, it's hard for me to find fault in that particular message, even if that's not what most of the Bible says. Individual people are just so much greater than the sum of their religious beliefs or opinions. So is there a religious line I would never cross with a partner? If there is one, it's probably being with someone who believes I'm going to hell. It's not because I think it's a horrible thing to think, though the concept is, of course, horrible. I find the entire hell concept laughable anyway, not to mention Satan, the scary evil demon that could be absolute comedy gold, like on South Park. It's more because I don't think I could be with anyone who would look on me with pity all our lives, or feel they need to change me lest I suffer for eternity. Of course, most of the time, that sort of person would never choose to be with an atheist anyway. I know a few couples in interfaith marriages, and I also know a couple who did not get married to each other because they weren't in the exact same sect of Christianity, so the strictness of these religious lines vary a lot. I think nearly any combination can work, provided the overall goals in life and ideas on how to raise any potential children are similar. I'd encourage you to take a wider view of a person before you make that determination, but perhaps you have your own stories about cross-belief romance to share in the comments. Have you ever ruled out or been ruled out by someone primarily on the basis of religion?